Yo, what's up, guys? We got another video today. We're going to be going over the Manchester United and Fulham game. And I'm going to try not to be too reactionary here. Um, but based off of what we saw against Manchester United and Arsenal, this is two steps back. Um, it just wasn't a positive performance at all. I don't know if there was any positives to really take from it. If there was any, it'd be Lenny Yoro played pretty good. And Mateus Cunha played really, really well. I think in the first few minutes in the first half, actually, he played extremely well. But even he kind of slowed down and fizzled out. The whole game, I mean, just kind of lost momentum after the Bruno situation. But let's look into some of the stats that we got going on with the game. Um, I felt like Manchester United came with a lot of momentum going into this game. I feel like against Arsenal, it was extremely positive. It was a really good performance. I thought they should have won the game. Uh, but going into this game, I really thought that Manchester United was going to perform today, and I thought they were going to really, really show the Premier League, we're here. Like we, Manchester United are here. Today it was just a big letdown. I'm going to be honest. And luckily, next week I think they have Burnley, so they should get a win there. But the next two games after that, if you somehow lose or draw to Burnley, it's going to look really rough because they could be in a position. I'm pretty sure they got City and then Chelsea, if I'm not. Yeah. So this could look rough. I mean, they got obviously, Manchester United are playing Burnley. It's going to be at home, which is good. Um, you got City away and you got Chelsea at home. So it's like, realistically, they could perform well against these better teams. And they could play well against City. If City somehow, I don't even know who City played this weekend. City played Brighton next. So if City somehow lose to Brighton and get on like a little stumbling block, and then you got a good game against United. But I think regardless, it's going to be a pretty good game. But they could be one win and five losses here, realistically, which is, it looks scary for Amarim because this is the most pressured coaching job in the league. And it's like, if you don't get results, that's all that they see. And it's a really scary situation. So I'm hoping they can pull something out the bag, but I don't know. It's just, if you look at the lineup here, did they go too top heavy in the transfer window? I feel like maybe. No, I like Cunha and I like Emblemo a lot. It's not that I don't like Sesko. I just think there's a time and a place where you need a striker, and in Arsenal's instance, it made a lot of sense to either get Sesko or Gyökeres because they had such a complete team, and they were literally just missing the spearhead of that team, right? But for Manchester United, there's so many other places that need to be patched up, and I think a big midfielder would have been massive this transfer window. I think it would have let this top three thrive, and I think Mason Mount looked really sharp in the first 30 minutes. I think he looked really good. After that, he kind of fizzled out a little bit. He looked at just Mason Mount, nothing too crazy. Bruno, I'll get to Bruno in a minute. But if you look, I mean, you look at the matchup, the team that they're playing. No disrespect to Fulham. I don't think Fulham is a bad team by any means, but I think they're a Premier League average team. I mean, realistically, they're a bunch of rejects from other clubs that haven't been able to perform and are trying to revitalize their career. And the true only like two or three players I would love to see at another club is like, I love Iwobi. I think he plays such a really good game. Super influential to Fulham. I don't know. I've always liked Iwobi. I think Bassi didn't play a great game today, but I think his physical presence really slowed down Mbeumo, and I don't think Mbeumo had a shot today. So I'm pretty sure just having a physical center back on Mbeumo and constantly touching him basically is just going to ruin his game. Anderson, I thought he was really good at Crystal Palace. I still think he's a pretty good center back. Lukic played pretty good today. Tete, I think, is a really good fullback in the Premier League, but none of these players are world beaters. Nobody here is an extremely good player. Like, it's just a bunch of average players. And Manchester United couldn't expose that today. It was a really soft performance. It's this playing down the wings and strictly just going down the wings is just not going to work. The midfield situation is it's scary, man. It's a dangerous game to play with them buying three attackers and no midfielder. And I know they bought Cunha technically on last year's books or last season's books, so it didn't count towards this season. But you just they need somebody here, and the fact that Amorim came out and said that Bruno and Mainu are not going to play together, and Mainu's fighting for Bruno's position is also worrisome because Mainu's had 0 minutes in the Premier League season so far. Casemiro he is technically really sound and good, but he doesn't have legs anymore. They're gone. And once you lose a bit of pace in this league, the league will just go beyond you. So it's not a situation where I'm saying leave the football before the football leaves you, but it's just he can't do it anymore in the midfield. And I think maybe he would do a better job in possibly Luke Shaw's position, but it's like, is he going to be better than Luke Shaw? No. But he's not meant to be in that midfield anymore. And especially not a midfield two. Now, if this team transformed, which I know it's not going to because Amarim's not going to change, if this team changed to a midfield three, I think you'd see a massive improvement. Bruno would be able to play more free, but in a double pivot, he's just not a good midfielder. And that's no bias or anything against Bruno. I personally don't like Bruno Fernandes. His antics on the pitch and how he acts and his flailing of the arms and crying all the time. It's really annoying to watch, but I think his game is really good. I think he's an extremely good midfielder, but I just hate the antics and the crying all the time. It gets old. But man, I don't know where Manchester United go from here. I'm assuming they're going to beat Burnley. Burnley did just beat Sunderland, so they're going into this with a little positivity. But there's no way that I'm going to have to sit here and record a video talking about Burnley beating Manchester United, right? Right? There's no way. So when I come back and I make another video talking about how good Manchester United looked against Burnley, and then they're going into their next fixture against Manchester City, which I think is going to be a good game. I think Manchester United will play good against that game, regardless of the result of the Burnley game. I think they're going to play really well. I think they'll play good against us. I think it's like Manchester United show up so well for these big games. And I think, obviously, the fact that the teams like City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, they're not going to sit in these low blocks or these mid blocks. And so in transition, playing down the wings and just sending diags works against those teams, and it doesn't work against these teams like Fulham. I don't think it's going to necessarily work against Burnley, but Burnley's going to go after United, I think. So man, I genuinely don't know where Manchester United go from here. This is a really sad performance, I think. They now have a goal at least. They've scored. It was an own goal, but they scored at least. And I don't know where you go from here. I mean, you can't look at what we have, man. It's just, you bring on Ugarte. It's just not positive at all. And if you're a Manchester United fan, you don't look forward to watching your team play. And especially if Amarim's not going to start Sesko. You spent this money. I know you want him to adapt and you want him to get in his betting period. You don't have time. There's no time right now. This is one of the most pressured jobs in all of Europe and all of football. And it's a results-based game. You need to get results. And I know it's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Just, I understand, ride the wave, whatever. But you have to get results. And if you're not going to get results, the games need to at least look positive. Like how against Arsenal, it looked really good. It looked like they should have beaten Arsenal. But these pundits and all these people that are waiting for negativity, and it spreads like wildfire. So it needs to go. So the owners don't have a hand that needs to be pushed in a weird agenda. So it's just because I don't want to see Amarim go. I'm going to be honest. I think Amarim can be a really good Premier League manager. I think they brought him in at the wrong time. He wanted to stay at Sporting. Obviously, they said it's either now or never, and you just can't turn down a job like that. So I'm wishing the best for Amarim, and I hope this all turns around and the midfield can figure it out. But without a midfield, you can't perform in the Premier League. We saw it last season, and unfortunately, I think we're going to see it again. The window's got not too much time left. It's closing pretty soon, so I'm hoping they can bring in someone, just anybody, for a placeholder until you can maybe try and go for Baleba next season. But I don't think Baleba is ever going to come to United, just because after this season, he's going to have 2 years left on his deal. Everybody's going to be going for him. Everyone. And seeing the prices that Caicedo, Declan Rice, I don't want to say Enzo because he wasn't in the Premier League, but you see the price that these players go for, and it's like Adam Wharton, Baleba, all those players are going to be extremely expensive, and every club is going to be coming for them. So it's going to be a rough season for Manchester United if they don't get a midfielder, or if they don't figure this situation out. I don't know how you do, but that's Amarim's job, not mine. So I think it's going to be a rough one this year, though. But if you guys have any comments or any thoughts about the Manchester United or Fulham, even if you're a Fulham fan, I don't think I've ever met a Fulham fan, but if you are, drop something in the comments and let me know how you guys feel about your season coming up. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.